refugees known as UNRWA. She joins us now. Juliette, I know you've done a lot of work and looking into what's happening with education within Gaza. When I read out those figures, they are so staggering to see what kind of impact that has had on the lives of children. Paint a bit more of a picture for us about what is happening around education.
Yes, thanks, Lucy. Good to speak to you again. Look, children and their education, they've been a casualty of this war. For example, at UNRWA, we used to provide learning for over 300,000 children, but we had to stop that as the war began. And even if there is a ceasefire tomorrow in Gaza, 2/3 of our schools can no longer be used because they've been hit. Some of them have been bombed to the ground.
How will you even start that process as well, Juliette? Are talks taking place at the moment, if it is seen as being a priority once a ceasefire has been achieved?
The education of children has not been a priority, Lucy. It's kind of been lost, if you wish, as people were struggling to survive. However, the second year, children are not going to school. We are on the verge of losing a whole generation of children in Gaza. And the longer that children stay out of school, the more difficult it is to catch up on their losses. And the bigger the risk for them to fall prey to exploitation, including things like child marriage, child labor, but also recruitment into armed groups.
And what about psycho and emotional support for children in Gaza? That must be on the agendas of some agencies somewhere too, Juliette, if we're looking to the future, how we help children recover from what they've been through.
Oh, absolutely. Every single child in Gaza, and we're talking about just over 1 million children in Gaza, half of the population. Every single child has been scarred psychologically. These are the invisible scars, what we call. And UNRWA has been spearheading for months on end now a program to address the psychological needs and the huge mental health needs for the children of Gaza, but also for adults, because it is safe to say that across the board, 2 million people in Gaza, the entire population is emotionally and psychologically scarred because of this brutal war.
And the physical infrastructure, Juliette, too. Tell us about the damage that's been done, not just to schools, but to universities and other institutions.
I mean, absolutely horrendous. I've been to Gaza myself during the war, and I've been doing wars for almost 2 decades, including in the region, including in Syria, by the way, and I've seen it firsthand. Nothing compares to the level of destruction that we're having right now in Gaza. And when the ceasefire comes, and we hope that it is imminent, obviously there's a need for huge reconstruction to rebuild the basic services for people. But I think what's really important is the reconstruction of the souls. People have got to reconcile and have got to come back to some sort of normalcy when it comes to the social fabric that was severely torn as a result of this war in Gaza.
Juliette, thank you once again for joining.